And Dr. Reaper, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalia, Kyle, everyone for joining us today for this hugely important discussion about how we can all make sure we vote, one of the most important privileges we have in a democracy. And I thank you for taking the time to join us today. It's my pleasure. I've been given the honor of introducing uh, Lauren Cyric Enriquez, who's going to be speaking with us today. We welcome her. She's Deputy Chief of Staff for New Jersey Secretary of State Tahisha Wei. And just a little bit about Lauren. Before joining the Secretary's office in 2018, she was the Deputy Clerk for the Office of the Bergen County Clerk, where she had the distinction of being the first Latina in her position. She was an advisor to the Guatemalan United Nations mission and a specialist at the U.S. Census Bureau. Her education, along with her community involvement, have always been geared towards government, politics, and how they affect society. And she always strives to be part of the decision-making process to advance ideas and guarantee that forthcoming policies are mindful of the demographics they serve. Dr. Cyric Enriquez earned her doctorate in public administration from the University of Baltimore, her master's degree in administrative science from Fairleigh Dickinson, and she holds both associate and bachelor's degrees in political science. She's also she also holds an executive education certificate in cybersecurity from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. And she's a New Jersey registered municipal clerk and also a board member of the New Jersey American Society for Public Administration. So, Dr. Lauren Cyric Enriquez, thank you so much for being with us today, and it's a pleasure to introduce you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Reaver. Thank you, Natalia. I see the assemblyman there. Thank you so much for inviting me to discuss this such important topic, which is the upcoming general election. I have my colleague also joining with me today, Corey Walkenberg. If you see him in there. And I thank you so much for inviting me. There are so many changes right now for this election, and we want to make sure that you have everything that you need to know regarding how to vote for this upcoming election. We can definitely make this interactive. If you have questions, you can interrupt me. I have a PowerPoint that I can go through. But the most important thing for us right now, for the governor and the secretary of state, is that we know that everyone that is on this call right now, this meeting, that wants to learn about the upcoming election, you are our trusted voices in the community. So I am relying on you that once I provide this information to you, that you'll help me educate our community moving forward in regards to how this election will be conducted. We are very excited at the Secretary of State's office. We have launched a new education election campaign, and we are going to be sending out weekly themes. And the weekly themes vary to voter registration, how to vote by mail, how to return my vote by mail. And we definitely would love to have you all on our list. So I can send that to Natalia, and Natalia can distribute to all of you. But these weekly themes is to make sure that our communities have the necessary information. So, for example, last week we sent out a flyer that contained a lot of important information. So, want to make sure that you receive that. And you're in for a special treat today. I have our new How to Vote by Mail video that we're going to launch today on this call. So that's something that will be part of our weekly theme this today that we send it out, but you'll be the first to see it. And we think that this video will definitely help our communities in regards to vote by mail. So if you would like, I could start the PowerPoint, Natalia. Yeah, okay. So we'll make sure that I know how to share. Okay, so can you see it? Okay. I'll try to put it in the slide presentation. And I always want to be careful with this. Okay, so you let me know if there's any issues moving forward. But this is our new logo for the Department of State and the Secretary of State and the Governor's Office. It's New Jersey Votes. For this election, November 3rd, it's safe, it is simple, and it is secure. And again, just want to make sure that if you have any questions while we're going through it, please go ahead and interrupt me. I might not be able to see you, so Natalia might have to let me know. For this PowerPoint, just want to go through what we think is the most important items, the most important deadlines that you should know for this upcoming general election. So want to make sure that we're going through the vote by mail. I know that a lot of you might have been using vote by mail in the past, but some of you might be new to this process. So want to ensure that you understand how to fill it out. Also, there are some changes in regards to how you can return your vote by mail for this election. We also have some tools on our website that I want to make sure that you have that with you. And of course, some important key dates. So for this election, all active registered voters are automatically going to receive their vote by mail ballot. So this means, and in some counties, you might have already received your ballots, but the deadline to receive your ballots for the county clerks to send out your vote by mail ballot is October 5th. Something very important to know in New Jersey is that there are several different offices that deal with elections. So even though the county clerk might be sending your ballot is being returned to the Board of Elections, and your registration is handled by the Superintendent of Elections. So there are several different offices that handle elections. So it's important to know the differences. However, I can tell you that everyone from state level to local level is here to help you. The important thing to know is that to vote in this election, you have to be registered to vote. So the deadline to register to vote, the number one key deadline right now, October 13th. October 13th is approaching soon. So we want to make sure that you register to vote. We are incredibly happy to share with you that you can now register to vote online. And our website that we just launched right now with our new education election campaign is vote.nj.gov. And if you go to vote.nj.gov, it is user friendly and it's easy to navigate, and you'll be able to see a little box that says, can I register to vote? Am I registered to vote? So definitely, I know that we don't like paper, so online voter registration, we launched at the beginning of September, and we now have over 200,000 voters that have used the platform. So it's a significant number. So make sure that you're registered to vote. That's the number one thing. And then we'll discuss a little bit more in regards to the polling locations. But all active registered voters will be receiving their vote by mail ballots. So just the last thing in regards to the vote.nj.gov, you'll also see a box that says, am I registered to vote? That is significant also. Make sure that your status is active. So in that box, it will tell you whether you're active or inactive when you look at, am I registered to vote? So in regards to the vote by mail, you're going to receive your vote by mail. Again, the deadline for the county clerks to send out their vote by mail is October 5th. So if by October 12th, you don't have your vote by mail, make sure that you're calling your county clerk's office to get your vote by mail. So the first thing is going to be, you receive your vote by mail, it's an outer envelope, and when you open up that package, you're going to see that there's several different things in it. There might be a letter from your local election official explaining how the election is being conducted. There might be an instructional pamphlet that tells you how to vote by mail. But most importantly is, you're going to open it up, there's going to be a ballot, a certificate, and an outer mailing envelope. Those are the 3 things that you need to be aware of. So once you get your vote by mail, make sure that you fill in your ballot. Make sure also that you turn your ballot, because there might be some things in the back, or make sure that it's not 2 pages also, because there might be some towns that have the public questions on there. So it might not be only 1 ballot, it might be multiple ballots. So make sure that you're making sure that it's 1 ballot or multiple ballots. So once you've done that, you're going to fill in, if you know how you're voting, our advice is make sure that you vote, and that way you can get the process completed. If you need time to think, of course, take your time. But if you know how you're voting, you're going to fill in the ovals next to the candidate, and that's going to be your voted ballot. And make sure that you see that there's different offices in that ballot, right? So you have president, you might have the local county commissioners, you might have board of ed. So make sure that if you want to vote for all of them, make sure you vote for all of them. Now, this is very important. There's a certificate, which is highlighted here in the PowerPoint. That certificate is an envelope also. Your ballot will go inside that certificate. Very important, you have to sign the certificate. Very important, don't detach. You see how it says do not detach? Do not detach. So you vote your ballot, you put it inside the certificate, and make sure you fill it out, make sure you sign, make sure you do not detach. And then this certificate that contains the ballot is going to go into an outer envelope, which is the prepaid. You don't have to worry about postage, which is good because I can never find postage. So you don't have to worry about postage. So it's a prepaid postage envelope. Make sure you include that in the certificate that has the ballot inside the envelope, prepaid. It will have the address of where it's supposed to be returned, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's simple. It's vote, sign, seal, and return. Natalia, I'll open it up right now. If anybody has questions in regards to this process, let me know. Now, something that is very important is how you're returning. Yeah.
Lauren, it's Nicholas. How are you? Thank you for doing a great job. I know you have more to cover, but so if this is someone's first time voting by mail, I just want to go over this process because there seems to be a lot of paperwork when you first open up the vote by mail and you get it at your home. And I don't want anyone to get nervous, because if you follow step by step, it is easy. So once you open it all up, the first thing you do is you fill out your ballot. And for those of you who live in Hudson County, we not only have the presidential, the U.S. Senate, and the congressional races, but there are mayor's races up. There are also school board races up, and there are also several ballot questions. So you want to make sure that you look at the ballot carefully and you fill out whatever elections you want to fill out. But once you're done with the ballot, so that's number 1 is the ballot. Now the certificate signature is a separate document that you sign, correct?
So it's that certificate that's highlighted in the PowerPoint. And I will go through that process also, because it's very important. As you know, there's some different changes in regards to the signature. But yeah, you sign where it says signature of the voter right on the certificate.
And then you put that together and you put it within the envelope and you seal the envelope. So it's basically three quick steps. I want everyone who's voting for the first time vote by mail to understand it really, when it first comes in, there seems to be a lot of paperwork, but it really is simple. If you just, you take a deep breath and you don't get overwhelmed by it.
Yes, I 100% agree. I think the best thing would be you take your envelope, and remember that the counties are in charge of vote by mail. So what you're getting in Hudson County might not look the same as in Ocean County in regards to envelopes and sizes. So don't be scared about that. You're getting your vote by mail. It's the same vote by mail, just that different design. But I agree with the assemblyman that once you get it, I think the best thing is to open up that envelope and separate what you got, so that it's easier to tackle.
And just one last thing, I'm going to let you go on with your presentation because, as you know, as a member of the assembly, I can hog the microphone. But if you live in Hudson County, the envelope you receive from the county clerk is going to be yellow. It's going to have yellow on the top and the bottom, and a red banner in the middle that says "Official Mail-in Ballot Enclosed." So it's going to look a little bit different this November than it did in June, but it's going to be yellow. It's going to be yellow and red. I haven't received mine yet, but if I did, I would show it to you. But it's going to be a yellow and red external envelope.
Yes, and anything you need, that things that we should go over, just let me know and we will go over it again.
Hi, Lauren. I have a really quick question.
Yes.
Not as complicated, Nicholas, but it might be simple. But I think that some people might have concerns. When you are filling out the application and the ballots and so forth, do you need to use a pen or a pencil? Will it be not legitimate if you use a pencil?
So, and you'll see the video soon. Make sure that you use dark, because the reason why is these ballots will usually go through a scanner. So a scanner needs to be able to pick up. So use dark pen, blue or black. I think most counties should be good with blue or black. Make sure that you read whether they prefer one or the other. Don't use pencil. So for this election, and very important, you have 4 ways to return your vote by mail. You can either use the mail, again, postage is paid, so you don't have to worry about that. The important thing with everything is that the deadline is 8 p.m. November 3rd. That's the deadline for this election, is 8 p.m. November 3rd. For mail, it has to say 8 p.m. November 3rd, but if it arrives postmarked by November 10th, it will still be counted by the boards if your ballot is eligible, if everything else is correct with it. Second option is the secure ballot drop box, and there's an image on this slide of how the ballot drop boxes look. The ballot drop boxes look the same in the entire state. They have those colors, the blue, the red, and white. And make sure that, again, if it's Hudson County, make sure that you're returning your vote by mail in a secure ballot drop box in Hudson County. A third option is your local offices. You can show up, make sure that you know what their times are, but you can deliver your ballot in person to the Board of Election. And then the fourth option for this election is you can return your vote by mail at your polling place as well. For the polling place, only you, the voter, can return your vote by mail. So 4 options: mail, secure ballot drop box, Board of Elections, or polling place. What I would advise is don't wait until election day. Don't wait until the day before. If you have your ballot, if there are no issues, if you know who you're voting, make sure that you return it 4 different ways early. That's the message right now. Early by 8 p.m. November 3rd.
Lauren,
Yes.
how early can we return? Like if we got it already, when can we start sending it off?
Alexa, if you got it already, you can return it.
Okay.
And vote.nj.gov will have a list of your ballot drop boxes by county, so that you can make sure that you're returning it to one of those. And there should be at least 10 secure ballot drop boxes in your county. So there's one that should be close enough to you.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So here is the video, guys. Let me know what you think. Oh no.
Here are some easy step-by-step instructions on how to complete your vote by mail ballot to make sure your vote counts. Look inside the envelope you received in the mail for these items: the ballot, an inner envelope with an attached certificate, and a postage paid mailing envelope. Completely fill in the oval next to each of your selections in blue or black ink. Fill in and sign the certificate, keeping it attached to the inner envelope. Place the ballot into the certificate envelope. Then place the certificate envelope into the prepaid mailing envelope. Either return your ballot by mail, deliver it to your county board of elections office, place it in one of the secure ballot drop boxes located throughout your county, or bring it to your polling place. Remember, only you, the voter, can bring your ballot to your polling place on election day. No matter how you return your ballot, make sure it's returned no later than 8 p.m. on November 3rd. That's vote, sign, seal, and return by 8 p.m. on November 3rd. Safe, simple, secure. Go to vote.nj.gov for more information.
So I think that this is a good video that takes you through the steps. Do you guys agree? Yeah? Okay, good. And the good thing is that we'll have a Spanish video also. So I should be able to share that with you hopefully by tomorrow. So one of the other things that is important also for this election, because it's vote by mail, and some of you, this might be the first time that you're doing vote by mail, is that there is a way to track your ballot from when it leaves your county clerk's office and if it gets back to the county clerk's office. So again, October 5th is the date that it has to be mailed out. You can create an account, again, vote.nj.gov, track my ballot, and you can create an account. Here's what you need to create an account: the driver's license, social security, 4 last digits, or a voter ID. You can get your voter ID if you don't remember it through, I would be very impressed if anybody remembers your voter ID. So you can get your voter ID through Am I Registered, which is on that same page. And you can track your ballot, meaning, for example, Alexa just asked right now if I got my ballot, or I'm not sure when I'm getting my ballot. You could actually go there and see like when it was sent out, and then once you return it, you can see whether the office received it. Whether it's accepted or rejected is a different thing, but you'll at least be able to see that it got to where it was supposed to get to. So track my ballot, that's important. Now, I can't see the comments, but something popped up right now that said something about the 3 bears and all that, so I couldn't see what was asked. But this is also very important, that could be a little confusing in regards to vote by mail, especially for those that are doing it the first time. The vote by mail, there is an opportunity for you to help transport some of the ballots. For example, you have your ballot, you have your mom and dad's ballot, and you want to help your mom and dad with their ballots, taking it somewhere. There's a limit of 3 ballots. So make sure that you don't take your mom's, your dad's, your brothers, your sisters, right? Like there's a limit to how many ballots you can transport. You can transport those 3 ballots to the Board of Elections, to the secure ballot drop box. Make sure on that envelope there will be a place that says who's transporting this ballot, who's the bearer of this ballot. Make sure that is filled out by the voter. The reason why I'm discussing this is because these are some of the reasons why vote by mail ballots get rejected. So just want to make sure that you have the information. And then again, just reminding you that at the polling location, you can only take your ballot. So don't bring your mom and dad's ballot, just bring your ballot. And if you need more information about this, we'll make sure that we get you information and that we explain it as best as we can. Now, the assemblyman was asking about the signature because there are some changes in the signature procedure. So a lot of us have registered to vote. Maybe we registered last year, maybe we registered 10 years ago. But in New Jersey, the signature is what makes sure that your information is verified. So if you send your vote by mail ballot, you signed it, and if you do like me, you do the little, it's not, you can't really read it, right? That's probably not how you registered to vote. So the election office is going to see that signature and they're going to say, this doesn't match what's on record. So for this election, they will send you a letter and they'll say, what you have on your vote by mail doesn't match our record. So you need to make sure that you provide us with the accurate signature or do an update to your signature. So you might be receiving that letter. But it's good because that means that if you make a mistake on how you sign, you have an opportunity to correct that so that your ballot counts. So the verification of the signatures will start in October. So just be aware of that timeline and be aware that you might be getting additional mail. So some of the frequently asked questions that we're getting. Can I vote in person on election day? Yes, you can vote in person on election day. Each municipality should have a polling place location open and make sure they're supposed to have at least 50%, the counties at least 50%. Again, you can visit our website to look at the polling locations that are available. Once you go to the polling location, you will be able to vote on a paper provisional ballot. And if you have a disability, you will be allowed to vote on an accessible voting machine. So can you vote in person on election day? Yes, you can vote in person on election day. It will be a paper provisional ballot, and your polling locations might have changed for this election. So just make sure that you verify what your polling location is on our website. And you will also receive notification from your election offices telling you where your polling location will be. So be in the lookout for that. So again, don't just show up to like your regular polling location. It might not be open. What happens? I had one of my colleagues call saying, "Oh my God, I got my ballot. I was so good. I opened it up. I voted. I did everything, and then I glued everything together." She's like, "What do I do now?" I'm like, don't worry. You haven't mailed it yet. So you can ask your county election office to send you a duplicate. If you mailed it, that's a different story. But if you haven't mailed it and there's a mistake or it's damaged, you can ask for a duplicate ballot. Something else we're getting a lot is, how can I be a poll worker on election day? So I don't have the website up right now because it's vote.nj.gov, but we also have pollworker.nj.gov. So if you want to sign up through our website, we'll make sure that we're sending that information to the county. It could be something really interesting to do during this election. It could be a civic duty, and it also pays. So, just letting you know. So again, some of key election dates, October 5th is when the ballot should be going out. Very important. In order to vote in this election, you have to be registered to vote. So make sure you're registered to vote. October 13th, we have about 2 weeks. Make sure the other important thing is the 8 p.m. November 3rd. That's very important. And then here's some just additional dates in case you were interested in those dates. So I have our website again, vote.nj.gov. You're going to find the online voter registration there, the secure ballot drop boxes, the polling locations, and another that we created a separate link is the trackmyballot.nj.gov. So thank you so much. Let me know what questions you have and we can go through them. And I'll try to stop the sharing.
Hi, Lauren.
Go ahead. You first, ladies. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Lauren, thank you so much for that presentation. Absolutely wonderful. Very informative. I just have some quick questions that were in the chat, so I want to address them very quickly.
Yes.
Dr. asked, I have completed the application to be a poll worker? What is the time frame for notifying those who want to volunteer?
It should be in the next couple of weeks. And some counties might be different. Remember, we have 20 different counties in the state of New Jersey. So some counties are smaller, other ones are bigger. So some of them might already have some of their poll workers in place. So let me get specifically what the timeline is for some of the counties, and hopefully I can share that with you. But they should be set up in the next couple of weeks because we do have to go through training.
Thank you. And a final question. So there's much speculation about the voter fraud and voting by mail process. What can you say to ease these concerns?
Yeah. So in regards to vote by mail, the first thing is New Jersey has been doing vote by mail now for decades. That's the number one thing. I always end up working election day, so I can tell you I have voted vote by mail for the past probably at this point like over like 12 years. You have 5 states in the country that they only do vote by mail. You have Colorado, I think it's Utah, Oregon, Washington, and I think Hawaii. They do vote by mail, solely vote by mail. You also have vote by mail in existence in this country for like the past like 100 years, right? So it's not something that's new, and it's not something that's new to New Jersey. Like this has been in place for decades now. The vote by mail is very specific to you. It has your label. It goes to that one person. So there are some checks and balances. I also mentioned that one of the offices is the one that sends out the vote by mail. Another one is the one that receives the vote by mail. You have a different office that does the voter registration. So there are checks and balances in place.
Thank you so much, Lauren. At this time, we are going to stop the recording and open it up to questions.